one is going to be your primary damage dealer. Early, and then if early life is available, having 2 people that can cast life makes up for a lot of mistakes. And
that is true.
We get to see exit in a learnable slot.
Ooh,
so check that
that's
one
good
off.
news. That's good news for the White Mage party. And Warp.
And Warp.
Lit 2 and Warp are... I'm pretty happy with the double Red Mage strats at that point. The only real white magic you're looking for is a life spell at this point. And that could be enough of a difference maker for Czar with his White Mage over what jkoper has.
And it looks like jkoper is doing his usual strategy of just booking it to Temple of Fiends.
It's a strategy I like doing when I'm running 2 Red Mages and you have a lot of like early clear like spells like Lit 2 or something like he's got, because you don't fear the packs quite as much. You can just kind of mow them down with what you got.
Yeah, having the extra magic charges is really why you would want to go from 1 to 2 before going into Temple of Fiends. 3 charges of magic seems to be enough. 2 just never feels like enough.
Well, and the advantage of getting a level before going into Temple of Fiends is also your hit points basically double. You go from 30-ish to 50 to 60-ish depending on your class, so that's always nice and a little bit more safe.
Yeah, I think with jkoper's party composition, though, he's not too worried about that. I mean, if the fighter drops, I don't think he'll really care.
Yeah, your Red Mages are really your workhorses for this part of the seed. And nothing too exciting in Temple of Fiends. The Opal Shield will sell for nice money if he decides to do so.
Oh, and he bought 2 cabins, so full health for the Garland fight.
It's always nice when those early spells that you want to use on your Red Mages are dirt cheap. You can get away with stuff like that.
Yeah, so the decision is paying off handsomely for jkoper. He is done and out already.
Yep, and this is, taking full advantage of the Red Mage strats. You have to push your advantage and the little things like this when you have it. And he won't pay for it too much later either, with Warp being very accessible early. So he trades his Princess in for an old instrument and a bridge. It's a pretty good trade. Now jkoper is going to be missing out on the heal 2, which Czar does pick up. So heal 2 is a nice spell to have just for general ease of use for menuing and less reliance on heal potion. But there's still plenty of magic to find in Provoca and Elfland and then elsewhere in the rest of the seed.
No, he's selling the Brewer's cap.
He's not a true fan. Picking up chain armor is something I will often do when I run 2 Red Mages. It's usually dirt cheap, and it provides a pretty decent level of protection.
Yeah, that's a great find for this current party composition. And cheap,
especially if you're
sword and wooden nunchucks are helpful too.
Yeah, the wooden nunchucks are useful for a lot less longer than the iron ones. And I think when you're running 2 Red Mages and you have that AoE clear, I'm usually not too worried about black belt weapons at that point. Was it like right around 8 or 10 when black belt's better with his fists? Something like that?
Yeah, I think 8 is about right. Judging from the effectiveness of when I've forgotten to take the nunchucks off.
I remember when I first played this game before I got into the rando, I wanted to kind of remember the vanilla game, and I put, the nunchucks on the black belt, and I'm like, oh man, why is everybody always talking about the black belt? This guy sucks. And then it turns out I never, took off the nunchucks. And instead of using his amazing kung fu ninja fists, he was hitting them with sticks.
So we have a question in chat. What is randomized in this game? Pretty much everything. The contents of the treasure chest, the contents of the all of the shops, enemy stats, enemy scripts, and skills and abilities. But at least the items do the same thing that they always do.
That is true. And most notably, what the effect the randomizer has on gameplay is that at this point in the game, any enemy that you encounter that you have not seen yet could be holding some deadly, awful spell to use against your party. So that's one of the big concerns. You'll see the runners using a lot of save items and kind of being overly cautious in saves early on. And because the items are shuffled, that means items needed to complete the end of the game for plot-related reasons like the slab and the crown are going to be in random chests. So these runners are going to be digging through places like Matoya's Cave, which we're seeing right now, which did not have much, and other locations looking for both items to help make their party stronger and to actually just so they can complete the game.
jkoper resets, meaning he loses that level that he got burning down the wolf pack. So he's going to lose a little bit of time there, but nothing too significant.
It looks like he was experimenting a little bit with how the encounter table looked here. And it looks like it's not super friendly to do a power cycle at the beginning, because you do get a few fights right away.
Oh, and he's got to hope that he rolls high on this Grey Wolf, otherwise bad news. Yep. Every time.
That's what I like to call the Final Fantasy Randomizer Special. It's when you use an AoE spell on kills everything but one thing, and then somebody runs away. Maximum time wasted. Nothing gained, except saltiness. So even though Czar has not checked Matoya's Cave yet, he has made up a little bit of time on jkoper here, just on this overworld trip from the first town to the second. And max price gold bracelets in Provoca.
No, I mean, they are gold.
I mean, they're so shiny.
I hope they're expensive.
Since they're bracelets, you should be able to have one on each arm. Get double the defense. What's up with that?
Maybe they're like solid gold and you have to use the other arm to carry it.
You're not really wearing it, you're just lugging it around. Fog 2, of note, really the only decent spell there, maybe outside of Harm 2.
There's also Soft as well, but probably not going to be a priority for jkoper.
No, he'll probably go
Temper.
Ice 2 Temper.
Yeah, Temper and Ice 2, very nice. Now, the purchasing order, though, I always like to put the attack spell in the first slot.
I agree, it just makes menuing faster. And I always like to put Warp and Exit on the far right to reduce the chance of me accidentally casting them at the top of Sky Castle and exiting out of the dungeon, which I've never done. I would never do something like that. Yeah.
No, a self-respecting runner would ever do such a thing.
No, there's not video evidence that exists of me doing that. So yeah, Czar has picked up a little bit of time over jkoper here. A tiny lead, but he'll lose a little bit of it checking Matoya's Cave here.
Checking Matoya's Cave and being very unhappy with the contents.
That's just sadness. And we didn't get any big trolls by the pirates. Looks like they had, was it Stun Touch? One of those red mages is stunned. I didn't see how it happened. But nothing awful like Lit 3 or anything, so they managed to pick up their ship quite easily. Czar stopping off in on Canaria here just to pick up a house. Not a terrible play. Houses are not sold in a lot of item shops in the vanilla game, so when they get shuffled around, I think there's only like 3 item shops that sell houses. Edge, does that sound about right? 3 or 4?
That sounds about right. And then those are some expensive tents, so we're going to be spamming cabins a lot this game.
Yes.
Cheap heal potions, though. That's really nice to see.
And the houses are actually relatively cheap as well, actually. Pretty decent housing markets in the world of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, not quite Detroit prices, but still pretty good.
Yeah, this must be like the hipster camping experience where like the tents are really expensive because they're like, hand stitched, and the cabins are just corporate sellout, super cheap prices.
They come with a giant sponsorship logo on the side.
I'd sell the randomizer for some sweet corporate sponsorships. I'm for sale. Today's randomizer brought to you by Pepsi.
Too many letters for Pepsi, but Coke would fit into a name slot just fine.
That's true. And my favorite class has got red and white in it. This is working out real well.
I feel refreshed already.
Troper Zero, I don't know if that was a Wayne's World reference in chat, but well done, sir. Alright, so we've got checks in Elfland here. We're about to see the spells. Now, Elfland is a really critical location for a double red mage party, because this is the last chance you have for a lot of good spells to be learnable or not.
I can go for some checks, actually.
Bane and Quake available for Black level 3.
Oh,
and man,
level 3 is a bust.
Level 3 is garbage. That's unfortunate. We'll have to see what's in 4 here.
No, 4 is beautiful.
Oh, life 2 and that slot 3 is red mage learnable. So jkoper's double red mage strats.
Oh, how would you like Nuke as well?
Oh, wow, Nuke and life 2. And it's too bad they were on the same level and not something better was on level 3, but that's the randomizer for you. And Bottle for sale in Elfland. They'll have to come back for that.
I don't remember how much money jkoper came in. Yeah, my guess is he just buys nothing here and then life 2 and Nuke. And I think he should have just barely enough money to do that.
Yeah, Nuke was relatively cheap if memory serves. But yeah, the double red mage strat definitely paying off for jkoper. He's got Warp, Fast, Life 2, and Nuke. Hey, what else do you want?
One Life 2.
Well, this is a Marsh required seed, so they'll be back with more pocket change.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to pick up 1 Life 2 and 1 Nuke, and be in pretty good shape. He actually doesn't have to buy them straight away, just because he's got to come back anyway.
Well, Zara is maintaining his slight lead over jkoper going into the Marsh Cave section here.
Yep.
Marsh Cave, often called Ambush Cave due to the frequent amount of ambushes that happen in this zone.
Yep, and is not building up any additional lead thanks to all the shadow encounters.
Well, he's thrown away a lot of fights at the beginning of the encounter table here, so. But the shadow ambush cannot be avoided entirely. Welcome to Marsh Cave, everybody.
Well, at least they don't have crack this time.
So at this point...
Go ahead.
I would say at this point our runners are pretty much guaranteed to find either the crown or the TNT in here, because it is basically the last place in the game that could have something since they've checked everything else.
Another question in chat, crown or TNT? Early crown would be fun.
Early TNT seems more common. It does make for interesting routing choices when you get just the TNT and you're still looking for crown and slab. So that always can make races more interesting. So I usually root for early TNT.
Yeah, when TNT is in the slot in the top half and crown and slab are in the bottom half. Ooh, Thorhammer pickup for Czar. Now the low-level black belt can be a contributor.
Yep. No, I think Czar is definitely going to want to walk that Thorhammer out. But with jkoper having more access to offensive spells, I'll be curious to see if he decides to keep that or not.
He should have an exit charge, shouldn't he?
Oh yeah, that's right. Haha. Then the decision does not have to be made. That's a question there for you, though. If you did not have Exit or Warp, would you have walked that Thor Hammer out?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I would if I had Czar's party as well.
It would say. I feel like it would save enough time and see just to use it a couple times on those giant unrunnable encounters.
Alright, so nothing at the top of... well, not nothing. The Thor Hammer was at the top of Marsh, but nothing progression related, so we're down to the last floor possible here.
Other thing of note is there's also a pro ring in one of those treasure chests, and I think that might be just as useful to walk out in our hypothetical example.
Yep, that is true. So not did I forget about the pro ring, but I forgot about his exit. So there's a reason I lost to you in our last tournament match. I never learned how to read.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that book was on top of the shelf and you needed the boots, so...
The sweet, sweet gift of literacy. I know we haven't seen any ridiculous enemy skills or spells quite yet. So we're about to see a preview of what the wizards may or may not have. Having something awful on these guys coming up is always a treat because they're unrunnable and they show up in a few dungeons. So
good old Blizzard wizards. Let's see if it comes true again.
Only 2 of them.
Oh, they're not hitting very hard either, and Thor Hammer is certainly nice to have for this.
Yeah, maybe slightly higher than the normal health, but don't appear to be too scary. Although Czar could have just got lucky. Alright, let's find out what's in this chest. Money.
Yep,
Hey, there's our TNT. Alright, so the dream of a dynamic seed of still trying to find the slab in the crown is still alive. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty hyped.
Well, this is a little bit scary. Werewolves have dark, and that's not the scary part. What's scary is they have a spell list, and they like casting it.
Dark is one of those spells like slow that just takes forever. Oh, they have fast too.
Oh, okay, well that's at least a relief because this double ice 2 is going to wipe them out. Czar feeling the heat from this Geist. Can't get away.
Thankfully, it was just one of them. Luckily, Sho managed to get him out of that bind.
Sho's cowardice shining through. Well done.
That guy is amazing at running away. He's like an honorary thief. I would imagine that the large amount of flop sweat behind that black mage is making it harder for that guy to catch up to him also. Meanwhile, we see jkoper finding out that wizards aren't quite that bad also.
Yep, and this should be the last chest according to jkoper's route, so pretty similar routes through Marsh Cave, and jkoper's only going to be about a minute behind coming out of this.
I think a lot of the advantages of the double red mage strats are going to come later when he has more charges and nuke to throw around.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to pay off, especially leveling up between here and the volcano. He's going to save some time in a lot of fights because he has 3 people that can throw out an AoE clear on the sea battles, and then he can triple cast Lit 2 outside of Crescent Lake.
Yeah, Sea Shrine will be, like you mentioned, those unrunnables will be a lot easier to clear. It was kind of amusing. jkoper picking up his TNT and Czar turning in his TNT at almost the same time. I enjoy that kind of synergy.
Question in chat: who gets more HP, red or white mages? I think it's white mages, but not by a significant amount.
That is correct. The real thing to notice between all three of the mages is not necessarily how good or bad the white and red mages are, but how terribly awful black mages are with hit point growth. Because the black mages are just like Kleenex. They have very low hit point gains per level.
Yeah, they seem to, at the end game, sit right in the nice sweet spot to get destroyed by nuke.
Oh, interesting. Fade was in the second slot in Melmond.
Not a little too expensive to pick up, and level 5 is a dumpster fire. I should say that. Confuse is useful in certain situations, but...
Well, it's a pretty extreme edge case where Confuse is useful, but amusing when it works.
Hey, listen, 300% carry 1 is frightening.
Yeah, at this point, depending on how leveled you are, a super high rolled, any of the fiends except for maybe Lich can be scary if you haven't power leveled yet.
Also, scrapping in the spreadsheet full of really good information. Definitely check that link out if you are a runner of FFR and are interested in some of the more detailed stats.
So it looks like both of these runners are most likely going to be following the same route here. With most likely they're going to go to the volcano and clear it, and then head to Ice Cave. The only route divergence I could see is if jkoper was feeling comfortable with the amount of nuke charges he had, he could go crazy and go to Ice Cave before volcano. That would not be, I think, a objectively awful choice.
Meanwhile, Czar rubbed the peed. So I'm always happy to see that spell actually hit, because it always seems to miss whenever I use it.
I can already hear chat coming up with a whole bunch of inappropriate jokes. So I'm hovering over the ban button right now.
Another question in chat. So what you're saying is, if you're a runner, it's important to know about runner's edge. Yeah, it actually is. For 1v1 matchups in particular, knowing your opponent's routing tendencies can be very important. It's,
yeah, like, so let's say theoretically that someone was really apt to go to ordeals, and that this person was crazy. That's good information to know. I don't know of anybody that would do something stupid like that, though.
Yeah, and so when you find the progression item in ordeals, you get very tilted when you know about your other opponent.
Hey, you won the last race we played when there was something in ordeals. You still managed to win, sir. But I'm glad that there was some tilting going on. That always feels good.
It was only because of Temple of Fiend Simulator 2017. Looks like jkoper found a silver sword in Melman. So that's going to be pretty helpful if there aren't any better weapons found in Volcano. And I have actually burned myself quite a few times not buying weapons, thinking, I'll find something, and then there's just nothing in Volcano.
Oh yeah, and especially as a player that runs a lot of red mages, you're always on the lookout for silver swords, because they're, as you mentioned, they're basically the best sword you can buy. And having a pretty good offensive weapon that doesn't cost charges on a good chunk of your party is really nice to kind of set up grinds until your black belt can start one-shotting things. So yeah, it is definitely possible to get burned by black sword drops, as you mentioned.
So it looks like Cure 4 was the big spell of note in the level 6 White Magic shop. Black Magic didn't have very much. And that means Fast is going to be in a level 7 slot, so even though Czar, or 7 or 8, and if it's 7, Czar might not even get access to it, so...
Yeah, the elusive tail will determine whether or not that's an option for Czar.
But yeah, judging from what we know through spell level 6, I think double red mage is the way to go.
I'm sorry, I had something in my ear. Did you say double red mage is always the way to go? Because that's what I heard.
No, just for the seed.
Yeah, there are definitely seeds where double red mage totally bites you in the butt. But not this one. Nuke, Life 2, early AoE clear spells. You're having a good time.
Oh, another question in chat. What spells would you guys say are undervalued by newer runners?
You know, I do see some people shy away from the second level attack spells. You know, people are so focused on you know, the Fire, Ice, and Lit 3 and Nuke and Fade that they sometimes will skip over those types of spells because they think they're not very good. But very early on in the game, and even as depending on what else is on that level, they're still good for extra damage to throw it.
If I had to guess, I would say there's kind of two different ways of answering this. I would say Heal 3, and most newer runners already know that it's good, but I don't think they appreciate how good it is. It's one of those spells that just saves you a ton of time throughout the course of the run. Each one of those Heal 3s that you pop means you're using that fewer charges of another spell or heal potions.
Well, and not just for resources, it's also faster. You're you know, you're saving yourself from having a menu to heal potions to 4 different people depending on how efficient you're trying to be with the heal. It's just great to use.
Yeah, and especially going into the volcano and having your potions all lined up and then picking up something junk like adamant and throwing that all off. You know, having the heal 3 there is pretty nice.
Yeah, the inability to rearrange your item menu is definitely affects your planning in this game.
The other one that I would say is undervalued is the 4x spell, the instant death one.
Well, yeah.
And I think
definitely situationally useful.
Yeah, and I think it just, there's nothing that is going to get you through Garland and Astos faster. And occasionally, because of the way HP rolls, if you know an enemy has rolled lower than 300, you can actually use it to great effect. For example,
Slab in the volcano there. Sorry to interrupt you, Edge.
Oh, no worries. Wizard Staff, too. Not too bad. But particularly with Agama grinds, if Agama's rolled less than 300 health, you can burn up a lot of charges of 4x on that as well. So it's very useful in the beginning.
Yeah, knowing which, you know, not having access to damage spells and knowing which spells like Bane or Quadruple X are useful, like you mentioned, to get past Garland or other enemies is definitely can save you a lot of time. Oh, Hyena's no Blaze. Welcome to Fantasy Randomizer.
Oh, that's awful for Czar because he loses all of the experience from the Pede fights.
That is really rough for Czar. That small lead he had over jkoper did just get burnt up right now.
Yeah, that's a huge setback, and it looks like jkoper is not having the same encounter luck, so to speak.
Well, you can, if they power cycle, they are going to encounter the same enemies if they take the same step route, but the actions that those enemies take there's still a little bit of RNG there. They can choose to attack, or they can choose to access their spell or their skill list. And Blaze is not a skill you want to take to the face.
Oh, fire elementals with wall, so
They don't want to take any damage from those ice spells. They've had enough of this nonsense.
no, but it'll be a super high roll lit instead.
Yeah, jkoper doesn't have too much.
Oh wow!
Oh my gosh, the crown and slab in volcano. Wow.
So this is gonna be off to the races. jkoper is he's playing this pretty ballsy. Warped instead of and didn't leave.
Ooh.
And I don't think he knows what the hyenas have.
No, he has not seen it yet. Oh man, this could bite him in the butt. We'll see. So that means that with the incentivized...
Oh no! Fires and Blaze,
oh,
dude!
no, Blaze! What? jkoper has fought like 2 or 3 encounters worth of fighters. And he's walking to these hyenas. Oh, and he instant runs? Oh my god.
They know Brack, too!
Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, they're just casting wall instead. Wow, this is incredible. Oh, there's the Brack.
Well, this doesn't actually matter for jkoper because I know he's picked up quite a few soft potions.
Yep. Don't do it in battle, man. You just gotta kill him so he doesn't cast Blaze. Oh, there we go. Wow. So this volcano has just been incredible. Both the crown and the slab on the same floor as Blaze hyenas and Blaze Brack fires.
Question in chat. Still can't run from elementals. Air elementals are the only ones you can run from, but yeah, the unrunnables have not been changed from vanilla.
Alright, so Czar, having known what's in these chests, has a little bit easier time going in and getting what he needs, but it looks like jkoper definitely has a little bit of a level advantage going on further and deeper into this volcano.
I mean, that's what not dying to everything that killed your opponent will do.
Look, man, I'm just trying to recap.
It's
I mean, that's the randomizer, though. Sometimes you just get destroyed by, ridiculous formation, and your opponent can walk away unscathed and be killed by something else that you yourself never saw.
Yeah, it's always funny in the post-game recaps when people are like, well, I never saw that air elementals had nuke, and you just...
And you're like, what? I wiped for like 20 minutes on those things.
There was nothing but those guys on the air floor.
That tends to happen more with seeds that have encounter tables that aren't quite so wide open in the beginning, because if everybody is power cycling before they enter or go into dungeons, they're going to get similar fights.
Oh, and Czar runs into a red D just wandering around the
That's
top
a rare
floor.
encounter.
Would you have fought that? Just to see how tough they were?
Yeah, I'd say at that point it might be worth checking out. It depends on how committed Czar is feeling to the black belt grind, because it is worth noting we have not found a ribbon yet, so the black belt grind is not completely safe. But I would have considered taking the fight just to check it out. It might save you the walk up to where the red D trap tile is.
Yeah, and it looks like Czar's going to do the same thing with the Agama here. Just get a sense for how beefy this guy is, and not at all. So.
Oh yeah, he's paper thin. Hey, this is where your quadruple X would have paid off. I think that was under 300 hit points.
Yeah. So that you could have burned level 3 spell charges just erasing those Agamas.
Bulls are another enemy that you don't want to have anything. Oh, there's the ribbon in Volcano. So the game is just telling you to power level in Volcano because you've got a ribbon and everything you need for go mode except for the floater.
Unless it's baiting you to do Death Touch carry.
Oh man, that would be so tilting. But it's happened, folks. That and Stone Touch carry.
The worst part about that is it's still a 50% chance of whether you see that or not, depending on how high, if both players level to 42. But that would be very brutal to see both runners wipe on a very small percentage chance like that. Then what
It does
do they
happen,
do?
though. Part of the randomizer is, how well you can deal with, low percentage things and kind of playing the odds. But, we're going to be seeing, since Crown and Crown and Slab were in Volcano here, the last thing these guys need for quote-unquote go mode is going to be the floater, which gives them access to the airship. So if they both employ a power level strategy here in Volcano, I have a feeling we're not going to be seeing much of Sky Castle or the Sea Shrine.
And I just noticed that jkoper is down to 48 heal potions, which feels kind of bad.
Yeah, that is definitely relevant. They both enter the grind at approximately the same time.
And it looks like jkoper is just doing a regular fight just to get a sense of exactly how much HP the Agamas have, and not much from the looks of things. Zard drops the gloves meanwhile and puts the pro ring back on.
It's hard to put a ring on over gloves. Unless they're really thin gloves.
Nah, I imagine these are like hockey gloves.
No, that would be the opal bracers. I guess no, those go on your arms. Never
What?
mind. Oh my god! The floater in Volcano, are you kidding me?
So nothing is actually in the incentivized chest then?
Well, nothing that we care about.
So we have one ribbon and so this is go mode, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how comfortable they would feel going into Temple of Fiends with only one ribbon. This is the God Seed, right? Like, go mode, everything you need to power level your black belt, all in one dungeon. Wow, the dream seed is here. This is ridiculous. I love it.
All right.
So at this point,
yeah, the question is, when do you stop the black belt grind?
Yeah, and I'd say if you're jkoper and you have just a bajillion charges at temper, and with round 3 flags, the highest the enemy boss can roll is 220%. So I guess the choice here is do you go to the low 30s grind breakpoint, or do you go all the way up to 42? I'd be tempted to go to 32.
Yeah, and it, just like we were discussing earlier with plentiful temper charges, and 2 classes that can cast it, I think 32 is the right choice.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you there. But jkoper being so low on heal potions could be relevant, because the Agama might have rolled low hit points, but nobody has like a gold bracelet or anything like that for a lot of defense, and it looks like he's hitting reasonably hard.
So that'll hurt in the short term, but as he gets more and more armor, that'll be better, and I think that's why he's leaving the bulk of his party alive for now.
Yep, just to not drain that pool.
But jkoper can actually get away with not leveling up as much and getting 32 by the time he hits Temple of Fiends if he wants to play it risky with the wizard staff, because he can just confuse Carrie and punch her out over the course of 3 or 4 turns.
It just depends on, I guess, how risky he wants to run it.
I actually don't know whether that's risky or not. To be perfectly honest, I don't know what the percentages are on confuse hitting Carrie. I know she is weak to status, but I don't know what the exact numbers are.
Yeah, and I would say that with 220% scaling, I wonder if it's just better to just attack her twice, with your 32 black belt, and just hope you finish her off before she does anything ridiculous. Especially if you've got a ribbon on your black belt. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think if the chances are like 100% or, close to 100%, then absolutely not, but it gets a little fuzzier. I would, that's something I need to go back and kind of run some numbers on.
Question in chat, have you ever accidentally dropped a ribbon while navigating a menu too fast? I don't know if I've specifically ribbon, but there's definitely been stuff I have accidentally dropped that it felt bad to do. That's why you have to be very particular when you're in the drop section of the weapon and armor screens.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever dropped one, but I've definitely unequipped one, and that felt pretty bad because it was right before the chaos fight.
I was gonna say, I think it was either you or somebody else unequipped or moved a ribbon and forgot to equip it, and then got baned at Tiamat or something like that, and it was awful.
I don't think I got baned, but I took like a full damage poison to the face because of it.
Well, poison can hit pretty hard. I mean, that's a difference of 120 to 150 damage potentially.
Yeah, that is kind of a brutal spell. And so it looks like Czar's grind is going to go a little bit quicker than jkoper's. Both of the fighter and the black belt are level 20.
I can't really blame jkoper for doing what he's doing now with his, with how many potions he has. Like, it's reasonable to me. I understand why he's doing it. Although not healing his black belt before taking this fight was an interesting choice.
Does he have life 2 charges left?
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah, it could be that. Life 2, best healing spell in the game.
Yeah, it looks like Czar is set up to do the solo fight. And what's nice about this is now that they found Flutter, they don't have to check the Red Dragon chest.
No, they could just go right on through. It looks like Czar is setting up for the double grind there. He hasn't moved his fighter up. But he's not healing him either. So I don't know what to believe. But yeah, for those of us joining late, this has been an incredible volcano. We had Slab, Crown, one ribbon, and the floater all in the volcano. So that means we are in technical go mode right now. So both of these runners are employing a power level strat so they can blow through the back end of the seed. So between that and the Blaze Hyenas and Blaze Break Fires, it's been an action-packed volcano, I would have to say. Everything you want out of a randomizer. Well, I guess they could have gotten the other 2 ribbons in here, but then I would have just thrown up.
Well, Czar is now getting to the point where the Agama is not cooperating with him and is just refusing to punch out the fighter, and so that's going to slow him down a little bit. Probably doesn't want to see all of those levels on the fighter.
I'm kind of surprised he hasn't moved the fighter to the first slot, since it would increase the odds of him getting meleeed. If he really wanted him dead, he could also ditch turns, to use useless items to just lose time. But there he went down.
Down he goes. Yep. But yeah, that's definitely an option. Just moving them to the front, and I think jkoper is committed to having healing the black belt up with life 2 just to save about 10 potions or so.
Yeah, it's going to cost him some leveling effectiveness, though, because all that juicy, delicious Agama experience is going across his whole party instead of being focused on the late game hyper carry that the black belt is.
The only thing is, though, it's the way it's being distributed is distributing it evenly means that the mages are getting a nice cut of it too, which means they'll have more charges of their spells, and they're going to have much higher HP than Czar's mages are, and all it takes is one really high nuke roll to kind of cut Czar's mages completely out of his party.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely not useless, and I'd say the jkoper having double life 2 on 2 party members, would make his party a little bit safer than jkoper's might. or than Czar's might. Excuse me. jkoper's party might be a little safer with all the life chargers than Czar's.
Yeah,
but he is definitely losing time to this strategy though too. So it's a little bit of a payoff. So we are seeing two different strategies being employed with this power level grind here. Yep, and chat also pointing out the extra levels for Fighter are nice, because I think Fighter has the highest hit point growth of any class in this game. So him being able to eat extra charges of things and still survive is definitely useful.
Yep, and we have one character down, so things are proceeding in the right direction for jkoper.
The Agama just not cooperating and hitting the back line black belt instead of the two guys in front. But yeah, this definitely has potential to be one of the fastest seeds we've seen of the randomizer in this tournament, depending on how confident these runners are doing the end game with just one ribbon. I have a feeling they might pick up some of the easy chests, especially with warp. Maybe they'll quick dip into Czardia Islands or check the Titan's chest or something like that. That would not be outrageous to me.
Yeah, and it looks like jkoper is going to be in one. Oh no, he's already in one hit territory. So yeah, that Agama has less than 177 hit points.
We're making a lot of Agama pace today, unfortunately.
So another question in chat: does being the top living character differ from being the actual top position? It does. The way the game handles characters in targeting is that if it tries to target a character that can't be targeted because they're either dead or petrified, it will re-roll. So the percentages are still the same. Whoever is in the first slot gets hit 50% of the time. But if there was a dead character in that slot, they would re-roll, which changes the probability distribution of the rest of the party members getting hit.
Yeah, knowing the percentage plays for little stuff like that is definitely something that separates the really good runners from just the medium tier runners.
And hey, what did I just say? Those damn key items moving your heal potions into annoying spots.
You know what? I would gladly trade the inconvenience of having to move my cursor more to already have the crown and the slab and the floater this early. First world Final Fantasy randomizer problems.
It's one of those interesting things. Maybe you don't check that chest next to the Agama because you have everything, and if it's a key item, you could easily screw yourself. Just wait until after you're done with the grind. And speaking of done with the grind, it looks like Czar is. He's going to check out the red dragons and see if maybe they're a little more efficient.
Yeah, it's certainly worth a peek. Maybe he wants to double check this chest or for some other reason too. Red Ds do give a little bit more experience than the Agamas.
Yeah, they also hit a heck of a lot harder. So Czar looks like he's definitely going to go past 32.
Yeah, the real disadvantage to going up here to grind too is that every single movement doesn't get you a trap tile like it does with the double Agama trap tile. So you are risking more fights doing it this way, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, if he runs into double fire elemental, that could be problematic. Of course, he could get crit for 163 too. That's also an option.
Well, and that's another thing too. A lot of times when you're doing a grind, it's real easy to kind of just get in the zone of killing a dude, moving a square, menuing fight, killing a dude, moving a square. But you have to keep track of your hit points. You always want to make sure you have enough hit points to withstand a critical hit or two. It's really easy to kind of lose yourself in the moment, and you have to keep that safety margin.
So I think jkoper is definitely he doesn't have enough resources to get past 32. I would say. So
Yeah, that's lack of heal potions might make that decision for him that we talked about earlier.
yeah, but I think that's the correct decision, given the party composition and what he has to work with. Zar might just be done at this point, though. Oh, it looks like he's going back to Agamas.
Yeah, Red D's hit a little bit too hard for his taste. Wow, that was an 8 hit, 888 damage on the Agama there. It's the cousin to the Lucky 7.
The toll-free punch.
But at least it wasn't the number of the beast.
Yeah, that would have been a hell of a damage roll, too.
Boo. Boo. I'm just secretly jealous I didn't think of that one.
Solid D-.
Well, no, the D- is when he left the Red D grind. So we got people in chat discussing, we kind of glossed over it quickly, but 32 and 42 are what's so-called breakpoints for the black belt. At that level, the extra hit bonus that he gains per level he reaches a threshold and starts getting extra bonus damage, so his damage output kind of spikes at those levels. So a lot of times you'll see runners kind of planning their routes around having, level 32 or perhaps level 42 if you're grinding that high, to get certain bosses. You might see runners maybe grind up to level 39 or 40 and plan on picking up the last 2 levels so that they hit 42 before they get in the Temple of Fiends Revisited at the end of the seed. So that's what we're talking about when we refer to that.
jkoper in a little bit dangerous territory here. I've seen Agamas do this much damage with a crit.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was talking about before. No reason to take unnecessary risks. I mean, is he out of heal potions? Did I just miss it?
No, he's not. So I think this is probably when he's gonna heal up, but it's nothing like an ambush just getting crushed. And I mean, we've talked about this on stream before. You have to kind of, when you're in a solid position like both of the runners are, you just have to think about what are the things that could possibly make you lose. And
yep,
a gigantic crit from a red dragon definitely is one of those ways for Zar. So it's probably why he's punching Agamas right now. And for jkoper, it's both 2 hits, 2 crits for 150.
Yeah, I mean, take the extra 5 or 10 seconds to make sure you don't lose 20 minutes. That's a pretty reasonable gamble in my opinion. Speaking of reasonable gambles, if I had to guess, I'd say jkoper is going to, once he decides he's done with his grind here, I think he's going to go straight to carry and we'll probably skip the red D chest, which we knew didn't have anything.
Yeah, I think so. At that point, if you're still looking for resources like a second ribbon, there are a lot of
much
chests
easier chests
that are more free. I'm looking at you, Waterfall Cave.
Well, hey, at least we're gonna have a waterfall cave that doesn't include running out of it like a loser. You can actually use warp or exit. In fact, they have access to both. They can choose either one at their leisure. What a glorious time to be alive.
Yeah, so it looks like Zar and jkoper are going to finish their grinds, but Zar is going to have like an extra 10 levels at roughly the same time. So this will be interesting. Maybe jkoper's just going to go until he runs out of potions.
Well, jkoper will have more levels on his red mages too, and having both of them having access to life 2 with slightly higher levels will make a little bit safer of a party, but not having a black belt that could just totally destroy in one hit without any additional buffs, could also not be as safe too. It's definitely a trade-off.
And life 2 is sitting in the nuke slot as well, so it's something that is definitely extra charges were definitely needed there.
Well, no carry shenanigans. Looks like Zara's black belt went first, and Carry got pushed through a fine mesh grate and was turned into paste.
Carry let off with Blizzard, so not super impressive.
Oh, Blizzard? Okay, I missed. What a lore fail. I guess all the blaze, all the blaze was already used on previous monsters in that dungeon, so Carrie had to resort to Plan B. Get it, Blizzard?
It's she's the only one with air conditioning in this entire building.
It's just in the crystal room. She's basking in it.
Yeah.
Well, she's clearly dressed for summer. You know, with that sprite. Can't say I blame her.
Yeah, it looks like jkoper is still gonna keep going. The amount of potions that he has may just dictate how far he takes this, but he keeps getting initiative, and as long as that keeps happening, he's gonna keep going.
Wow, that's like 3 in a row. Yeah, he's. I mean, I can't say I blame him. The real decision factor here was what we suspected was going to be. He was just going to run out of potions, but after a certain point, he's going to want to heal all the way up and kind of assess his health status. He can't have very many left. I don't remember the exact number, but he's getting pretty low if memory serves.
Yeah, I think he's got enough to do another full heal, and that's about it.
Alright, so we're going to see Zar do some last-minute shopping, replenish his heal potions with a prodigious amount of money he got from his Gamma grind. And then he's going to go pick up his airship, and we're going to see exactly whether or not he wants to dig around for free chests, or if he is just going to blow through the seed as fast as possible.
So if I were Zar, I would have strongly entertained leaving the fighter dead, just to get more experience into the Black Mage and White Mage.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because the fighter's gonna live through with his help pool. He's gonna live through stuff regardless of whether or not he gets more levels, and his usefulness in this seed is kind of at its end. Which is why we, if you're gonna hard commit to the black belt leveling strategy, it's kind of one of the reasons why the meta has shifted toward utilizing a thief in your 4th slot if you can, just to take advantage of that extra run chance throughout the whole seed. So I can't remember where the gold bracelets were being sold from. It was Provoke.
Yep.
Zar just bought 10 bottles. So a bottle pickup for Zar.
Maybe he found the secret wine rack in the basement of Temple of Fiends.
Oh, he's having trouble walking through the entrance to Provoke in there.
I mean, he just drank 10 bottles, so...
That's true. I'm surprised he didn't pilot that airship and crash it straight into the dock there. That's just straight up impressive. That man holds his liquor well.
Yeah, the White Mage is level 11, and I'm assuming the Black Mage is similar.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty low. You know, is he going to take many fights on the way there? I mean, I guess the ambient experience from Unrunnables is going to get them definitely into the high teens or maybe low 20s at the very least, but that's still pretty low.
I don't think so. Not with Zara's going to be go-moding every dungeon, I think.
I suppose that's true, yeah. As soon as I said it, I'm like, maybe high teens is a pipe dream. Did Zara translate his slab? I was watching jkoper when he got out of that dungeon.
Don't believe so.
So he'll probably do Sea Shrine, pick up his cube, and then do Earth, translate the slab on the way over, do the Crown Chain, and then end up at the Sky Castle.
Alright, jkoper stopped at 40, which I totally support.
Yep, very reasonable.
We will definitely get 42 before running into Kraken 2, and that's kind of the point at which you really want that extra punching power.
Yeah, you don't want to give Secret Boss Kraken 2 more opportunities to reach out and destroy members of your party. Because even a 200, even just an approximately 200% upscaled Kraken 2 can get some, ridiculous crits on a high-level black belt and just destroy him. It is definitely possible. It will only get more more ridiculously possible later on in this tournament we get, and the higher the flags get. grown.
All right. Meanwhile, jkoper punches a crocodile and gets level 41.
And we got Czar heading into the Sea Shrine area here. I'd be very surprised if I see him do anything but check the easy free chests on the way down toward Kraken.
Alright, meanwhile, we have Czar is now into the Sea Shrine, and he is running into the Stun Lobsters.
Well, the Sea Trolls, I think, had lit, which was not that scary. Alright, let's see where jkoper decides to go here. With Go Mode being so early for these runners, how well you handle overworld routing and how efficient you are, can definitely save you a minute or two, which could make a huge difference because jkoper is definitely just a little bit behind Czar.
Yeah, so it looks like he's cashing in Crown and doing this chest line right now. And he's leaving the rest of his party dead, so all the Astos experience flows into the Black Belt. He will definitely get 42 before getting into Temple of Fiends. Good experience distribution on his part. Very good decision.
So I was curious to see if he was going to attempt to go through Earth Cave with just his black belt up.
That is possible. The only reason why I don't like it is just if you run into wizards and they're actually brave, that feels really bad punching them out one at a time.
Oh yeah. And it's not like the extra party members are useless for jkoper. He's got nuke throwing wizards, and just for safety's sake, not that you'd have a high chance of dying in Earth Cave, but reviving those party members seems like the smarter play to make. Meanwhile, we got Czar running into some more of the delicious unrunnables in Sea Shrine with these ghosts. And his white mage is so low level, I don't think they have any charges of fade yet.
No, definitely not. That's why they're throwing the Thor Hammer out there. So jkoper is going through and selling some of the items that he no longer needs out of his inventory, which I feel is pretty much the worst thing that you can do as far as inventory management goes.
The Edge telling it like it is.
It's just one of those things where if you need to sell more than one item and you've already done your grind, then you don't actually need the money, and you can just go through the inventory and just drop everything that you don't need.
Yeah, I'd say the only time you ever utilizing the sell menu when you don't need the money is correct is when you forgot to drop it in the first place and you're already in the shop. Any more than one, and yeah, it's definitely faster to just bug out of the shop and drop them. We do see Czar checking kind of the freebie easy chests that you literally walk right by on the way through Sea Shrine.
Oh, and it's a ribbon.
Oh wow, this is the God Seed. Now, if you're Czar, I don't think you check any more chests for the rest of the game.
I think you keep looking at the easiest ones.
Sure, like stuff you're walking right by, like maybe the vampire chest or something, but
waterfall chest.
Oh, waterfall, yep.
But I don't think I would even check the phantom chest.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Although it is encounter free in that room, if memory serves.
Yeah, it is. It's just the only things you're looking for at this point is
the third ribbon.
No,
maybe the white shirt or the defense sword.
And defense sword. Defense sword would actually pay off for both of these players. Is a hedge.
Yeah, I'd say the only threat to their high level black belt is going to be a hug from Kraken 2 probably, or very high rolled chaos with some bad luck. Someone in chat suggesting the power gauntlets. While they would be okay, a level 42 black belt really doesn't have with the scaling on this seed, doesn't really have a large need for the power gauntlet.
No, and in fact, the problem is that it eats one of the turns of the level 42 black belt, which is something that you don't want to see.
No, you're better off utilizing that turn to just punch more face.
Yeah, and I think Czar realizes the low-level mages are going to be a problem, and he takes the Gershark Big Eye fight, and that brings the Black Mage to level 16. Meanwhile, jkoper translates the slab.
He learns from a tablet exactly how to put a lampshade on his head for the toga party. You don't want to put it on upside down, that would be embarrassing.
Question in chat. There's a comment, who cares about their fighter sword when they have a level 42 black belt? Having a decent sword on the fighter can actually save you a ton of time in Temple of Fiends Revisited, because the black belt can only really get through one enemy at a time, and if you run into 4 worms, having that second physical attacker that can punch something out with like a sun sword, it can be can save you 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, the 4-worm unrunnable fights toward the end of Temple of Fiends has been a difference maker, and many runs that the community has run of this game. So it kind of goes back to what we were talking about, like, small, quick optimizations you could make to help prevent losing tons of time, and that is definitely one of them. Yeah, there's no reason not to equip a Mass Moon or a Sun Sword on a fighter if you've got it.
So I like this routing that jkoper has done, and I think what's going to end up happening is he's going to finish the Crown quests when he's coming back from Sky Castle, and that's going to let him hit Matoya's Cave and then Elfland on the way there. So pretty efficient routing to close the game out.
With a seed that is so tight with all the good items for progression early, it's those little optimizations in overworld routing that can really make a winner or a loser out of somebody. Well, it's time to visit the Immortal Vampire Edge. I hear that this guy cannot be killed. He's immortal.
We'll see about that.
Well, the first guy missed totally. So, okay, wait, never mind. He murdered him and stole his house. That's just rude.
Just rifling through the file cabinet comes up with the deed.
It's like, oh, this seems like worthwhile. I should probably hold on to this. Maybe one of his party members is a notary.
Not only did the vampire buy the farm, he got the house with it too.
Well, he bought the farm and then somebody else stole it from him. Are we gonna get an out-of-bounds bat check from our friend Czar over here? Nope, Czar hates memes. You heard it here first.
Mono says that jkoper already has a Mystic Key, so disregard what I said. But finishing that up first, I still
I wasn't
is the right.
I wasn't positive if he had gotten it or not, so I didn't want to make a fool of myself.
Yeah, our tracker jumping in chat and helping me out. Appreciate that, Mono.
So nothing too exciting in the waterfall cave here, but no reason not to check the chest while you're there. Could have been a third ribbon.
Not necessarily. That ice sword is definitely a hell of a lot better than the silver sword.
True. But I'd say I don't think that's going to be a huge difference maker in this race, although it has the potential to be, I guess.
I think that'll let the fighter cut through water elementals and fire elementals if he runs into them.
That's true. The water elemental fight could be a big difference, especially for Czar, because I think he's only got one person that can cast an ice spell or nuke.
Yeah.
And he's going to be wanting saving those nuke charges, if at all possible. Although by the time you get to the water floor, I can't think of a better use for nuke than spending it on some unrunnable waters.
Meanwhile, it looks like jkoper has remembered.
Oh, don't look, Edge. He's selling stuff out of his inventory.
No.
I'll tell you when it's all over, buddy.
He remembered where the pro rings were, so everyone is pretty well defensively equipped.
I have a feeling that jkoper will take a similar route when he does get to the sea shrine that Czar did, and he'll most likely pick up that second ribbon. It's a pretty common thing for a lot of runners to do.
Yeah, I think so, but just the way he's routing everything in the overworld, I feel like he's going to pick up a couple minutes just on that alone. That being said, I don't know if that will be enough to catch Czar, but he's certainly doing everything that he can to make up that time.
Oh yeah, well, and careers are made and destroyed, and the Temple of Fiends revisited, so it's still anybody's race. jkoper with his single bottle, not nearly as drunk as Czar was. He doesn't have enough confidence to get that fairy's phone number.
Definitely running straighter. And he's gonna do the run through the peninsula.
Yeah, you're right here. Why not?
And so far, getting decent luck as far as the unrunnables, although I'm feeling just this huge compulsion to save.
And then as soon as you mention it, 4 zombies. So, good work.
Well, double nuke is not going to make this too bad, unless they roll really high HP.
Well, he did do, he did walk on and off of the river tiles in the lake there to really minimize the amount of steps that he was taking that could have gotten him a fight, so. Meanwhile, on Czar's side, it's always amusing to see people fail to run and then enemies running from them and everyone. It's just a giant run cowardice party.
I always feel like that if you've already done the grind, that it's just not good to take any encounters on the Leffen Peninsula.
I would tend to agree with you. Even if the encounter table is bad, just use all that money and save scum your way all the way down the peninsula.
Yeah. I think the only time taking fights here is useful is if you're going to do a peninsula power grind. But that's kind of a completely different story.
True, they would have done that much earlier in the seed. It would have been pre-TNT. But he's taken another 4x Zombo fight here. I think at that point I would just select run with my non-nuking mages for the hit points those Zombies had and just try to make that menuing go as fast as possible. Man, just non-stop Zombies for jkoper on this peninsula. Woof.
Yeah, no, I think at this point he really doesn't need any of the experience from this fight. He's going to get enough of it to... If he hasn't already hit 42, he's going to get enough of it just running through Temple of Fiends.
Yeah, if anyone would have wanted wanted that experience on their party members, it would have been Czar for his lower level mages.
Yeah, and Czar is a full orb ahead at this point.
And he's already done his walk through the waterfall cave as well. And Czar getting the one fight from moving one tile outside of Melman there. That's always annoying when that happens.
It never fails, but at least they weren't shadows.
That's true. Melman is the worst place to do that because of the ambush raid. Man, I can't believe that king in the Northwest Castle was Astos this whole time.
He was?
Yeah, I mean, this is twice now it happened, and it's a good thing I'm seatbelted into my chair. I would have just fallen off of it.
No way.
Yeah, I know. Wait, let me rewind the feed. Let me look back. Yeah, it turns out it was Astos.
Holy shit.
Yeah, someone I mean, if I was writing a screenplay for the, the plot twist, I would study this game's execution of that, because I didn't see it coming. Kappa.
No!
No! Oh my god,
good.
yes! Yes, he runs!
Yes, he ran.
Czar's mad too, because he's a known Tyro killer, if memory serves. Oh, gosh.
Alright, well, enjoy that Zombull fight. And Czar resets.
He's trying to fish for another Tyro fight because he's a jerk. I have a feeling he might have just ran accidentally. Just out of habit. Alright, looks like jkoper picks up his cube. He's not going to find a ribbon in here, unfortunately.
That's fine. Also picks up the ice sword and flame armor as well.
I'm hoping we don't see any more Tyros on the rest of this peninsula. Yeah, we got Czar doing what you were mentioning, Edge, and using the cabin and house spamming, so-called save scumming, to just skip all these fights. And consequently, he's getting through this peninsula, I think, a little bit faster than jkoper did. And he tries to land in the mountain. I've done that many times. It doesn't work. No! Oh god, why? No, yes! Yes! Oh my god. No, why? Why?
He's going full ham on this now.
Oh my gosh, the Tyro even ran. No!
He pushed his luck. Tyro
Oh my
thought he was
God.
going to be okay because he brought a friend, but the buddy system doesn't work against the 42 black belt.
Oh my gosh. That was awesome. He finally decides to attack with his black mage, and the Tyro still runs from him. Oh man, my night has been made. That was glorious. I mean, he's still disqualified for killing a Tyro, but it was still funny. Oh boy. So we see Czar skipping all these chests here. Can't say I blame him. He's got the double ribbon, leveled out black belt. He's just gonna cruise through the back of this dungeon, withstand the heat of the blue D.
Oh, jkoper, meanwhile, is having pretty good luck in the Sea Shrine. This is the first unrunnable that he's hit.
What is it with you and summoning unrunnable fights for these poor runners, Edge?
Anytime.
A service you're happy to provide, I'm sure.
And this is kind of another reason why it's nice to have two mages that can clear this stuff out.
Yep. Nuke makes pretty quick work of most of those thick pack enemies.
Alright, our dynamite is level 42 now. And it looks like jkoper has every intention of picking up the easy chests on the way. We'll see if he dips into the 3.
Yeah, that'll be the only one that we know will pay off for him.
Yep.
Yep, good for him. So he'll pick up this second ribbon here. Be happy to find that. Pick a red mage, any red mage.
They're interchangeable.
I do enjoy the synergy of the double red mage strats of having your, having both magics tables be identical. That's always a good time.
It's slightly off in this case. One of them has life 2 and nuke, and the other one has nuke and life 2.
Yeah,
Which always feels bad when you try to accidentally cast life in battle. Meanwhile, Czar is crossing the Warmech Bridge.
Are we gonna see some Warmech? Pretty rare. Wow, he's just blowing pie that bridge. That was a pretty long run out there.
No, we're not gonna see much of anything.
No such luck. I didn't even think we saw any delicious nachos there either.
I don't know. They look like they went bad a long time ago.
Alright. Tiamat, like most bosses, falls before the offensive glory of the level 42 black belt.
So I think this.
I mean, we've got a 4 crystal go mode 2 ribbon 42 level black belt at about 1 minute 21 or 1 hour 21 minutes for Zar here.
Yeah,
you just gotta finish this key chest.
Yeah, it looks like Zar is doing that route that I was explaining earlier, so he's not going to lose too much time finishing up the crown quest.
jkoper unfortunately has an entire sky castle behind here because he'll get out of this dungeon right around the same time that Zar picks up his key. One hour 20-minute setting foot in the Temple of Fiends. That's what happens when Crown, Floater, and Slab are all in the volcano.
And meanwhile, jkoper gets one of the unrunnables outside of Onrak.
That sucks. Yeah, I'd say, what would you say the difference maker has been in the Seed Edge? Do you think it was the slower setup into the grind for jkoper for the Black Belt and Volcano?
That and both players deciding to go to 42 instead of 32.
Oh no, jkoper, why? Why? He murdered him and ran. Someone call the cops. No, not again. Why? Why?
Oh. The Tyra got away this time.
You saw what happened to his buddy. He's like, I don't want any of that.
These blue shirt guys are vicious. And meanwhile, speaking of vicious, Phantom takes a bite out of the Black Mage.
Crunchy. Well, he's only got 220 health.
And,
more unrunnables.
Yep.
I almost wonder if instead of spending all that time with those casting animations for only 2 enemies, if it would have been better to just attack twice with the with the black belt. It looks like the zombie Ds had pretty low health.
Yeah, it definitely would have been. What I would have recommended was just attack, run, run. Comment
that word fight?
Comment in chat about the timer. The one on the tracker is about 2.5 minutes behind, so it is off, but not by that much.
Oh yes, yeah, I forgot that we had the tracker going on through the restream. So it looks like jkoper is going to be finishing up with Sky Castle, I'd say, right around the time that Zar is going to be on carry 2, approximately. See if he has the same luck on the Warmech Bridge once he gets done with the scrolling room here.
jkoper electing to nuke the groups of sorcerers. I don't know, maybe he saw something nasty from these guys. I don't remember seeing anything particularly awful from Mud Ghouls or Sorcerers.
Yeah, me either, actually. Maybe he's having nightmare flashbacks to the time that he got translocked on that bridge for like 4 minutes earlier in the tournament.
Just never gonna let the Sorcerers live it down.
And he's running away from those rotten nachos. Oh, no, he decided to punch the bowl of nachos instead. And apparently Karan learned a lot about his experience from watching his friend punch those nachos, and he got a level from it. Figure that out.
Alright, another shot at Warmech, and no. Not even close.
I was gonna say, good lord.
That's a hell of a run.
That was. Good lord. Definitely was in a different part of the encounter table than Zar was when he went through that room, so there was certainly potential to see Warmack there. Meanwhile, Carry 2 casting Ice 2, and then immediately dying horribly at the hands of Fiesel the Black Belt. Yep, Tiamat and Carry 2 go down right around the same time.
Did we see any monsters with Death Touch?
I don't think so. In fact, I don't think we saw Stone Touch either. We saw Break on the Fire Elemental. That's the only time I think I saw anybody under the influence of Stone. And Water's not looking too scary.
No, they rolled very, very low, so this is really good for Zar.
Yeah, one of the ways that he could have been in trouble was the only person that can cast Life 2 getting just destroyed by Waters, but that Ice Sword doing pretty good work on him, though. Alright, jkoper finishing his prep for the Temple of Fiends Revisited. I gotta say, if you're jkoper, you're probably feeling pretty good about your time walking into Temple of Fiends Revisited. But you know that your opponents discover the same items you did in Volcano, so you're always worried where they're going to be.
It's just a matter of whether you think your opponent went into incentivized ice first or not.
Yeah, we did mention it while they were on the way to Volcano that it would have been it was definitely a gamble, but it would have been a reasonable one to go to Ice Cave before Volcano. It just would have been wrong this seed. I would have gone to Ordeals, unincentivized, and just not been rewarded. Alright, let's see what who Kraken 2 decides to reach out and touch.
Oh, meanwhile, jkoper gets away from some bad men.
Only 3 hits on Kraken 2.
Oh, there's the Bane.
And nobody.
Yep. 0 takers.
Wow, jkoper getting the unrunnable Ghastly fight, unfortunately. Double nuke strats are going to help him out here, though. And on the water floor.
Yeah, enjoy your 288 experience. That always feels terrible.
I believe Entroper did fix that with his experience changes in the most recent live non-tournament patch.
Which I am looking forward to trying out very much. Just, I need practice with tournament seats.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. Alright, well, the Phantom did not reach out and touch and kill anybody in jkoper's party, so that's good news for him.
And then jkoper just El Kabongs that plate and moves right along.
El Kabong, wow. What a great reference. It's funny because he used the loot, you guys. Come on, work with me.
Ice Sword paying off already.
Ooh, Tiamat taking 1,100 plus damage to the face and still standing. Of course, Sho goes last with his temper. And then dies for it. That's what you get for casting temper late, Sho. Alright. One of the last few roadblocks for Zar has gotten past. He gets a nice run on these airs, and it's just nothing but chaos left.
Yeah, and this is looking pretty solid for Zar here, unless there's just unspeakable amounts of evade here. I think he's in pretty good shape.
Ooh, it doesn't even hit that hard either. Pretty good absorb, though. The fighter didn't do more than 1 damage.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, this is all but written on the wall, unfortunately. Now, base Chaos has 2,000 health, so, you know, he could roll all the way up to a little over 4,000 or so, but could roll down to less than 1,000. We'll have to see where that number is. Yeah, even when he melees the black belt, this does not do enough damage. Ink is not going to be the difference maker, unfortunately.
No.
And that is a dead Chaos.
That is a dead Chaos at
1 hour, 30 minutes, and 20 seconds for Czar. So that does mean that this was a Garland or losers brackets best of one match. So that does mean that Czar does move on in the losers brackets, and unfortunately jkoper is out of this tournament. What a tough seed to go out on too. Everything handed to you in Volcano, so it a very interesting situation to be in.
Yeah, and it looks like a fairly easy Temple of Fiends as well. This is definitely one of those seeds where 32 on the black belt was the right answer.
Yeah, I think that could have been a potential difference maker. I think the most defense-heavy boss we saw was Kraken 2. I think the black belt swung at him and only got like 3 hits for 500 damage or something like that.
A couple tempers will fix that right up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it was the definitely the leveling difference between the two runners that made the difference this seed. Because their routing was very similar for both of them. They both made the correct play to Volcano and skipped Ice Cave. Both picked up the second ribbon and Sea Shrine. And honestly, jkoper is going to finish up the seed pretty quickly. They're going to end up with pretty close times.
And sounds like we're joined by Czar. Congratulations on your win.
Yeah, good job. You do move on in this loser's bracket.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. It was kind of a frantic dash to the end there.
Yeah, how did you like that Volcano?
Yeah, there wasn't much in there, was there? I don't remember anything.
The floater was in the volcano, guarded by an Agama. The hyenas were a problem, obviously. I lost quite a bit of experience there as I was getting beat.
Yeah, the hyenas with Blaze, and then the fire elementals also had Blaze. That was rough.
Yeah, that definitely played a factor as well in my decision to take the black belt to 42. I had not seen fast yet, and when I don't see fast, by level 6, I usually go to 42.
Yeah, that was going to be the one thing I was going to ask you, if you felt that 42 was necessary for the reason for fast, and it sounds like that's the case. Did the early access to Temper not sway you enough?
Sure. Experience was going quickly in the volcano, so I just decided to go with it. I'm glad I did. That Kraken was pretty buff.
Yeah, Kraken 2 was definitely the toughest enemy in the Temple of Fiends, and that is pathetic because Kraken is making quick work of jkoper's party, unfortunately.
Well, to be fair, jkoper ran into that fight without healing, so I think he was just trying to see how quick he can go through that Temple of Fiends.
He also didn't move his black belt to the back either, but can't say I blame him, just wanted to finish up the seed. It was a pretty fast one.
Yeah, go mode came early for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Volcano had everything you could want. It had crown, slab, floater, and even had one ribbon for maximum safety for leveling the black belt.
Yeah, that played a big factor in my decision as well. I decided, well, it's going to be early go mode. Might as well take him to 42.
Yeah, I can't say I blame you. We were discussing while you guys were relatively close in the early game, sailing toward Volcano if anybody was going to make the Ice Cave play. Since it was incentivized, it wouldn't have been too crazy. But luckily, both of you didn't and enjoyed the treasure trove of Volcano.
That would have been my next destination had I not found the floater there. Again, Volcano was pretty loaded with plot items for this seed. X-Ice Blue production.
It's just been the nicest X-Ice Blue production that I've seen.
Yeah, more like nice blue production.
Nice enough for me to get a PB by 33 seconds.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, nice. Yeah, if there was going to be I mean, not that PBs are super relevant in a randomizer, but if it was ever going to get one, it was going to be in a seed like this. I mean, you even managed to pick up the second ribbon in Sea Shrine, which was kind of a nice little gift.
Nice to get one in a round 3 seed, too. Generally a little harder than some of the PBs we've seen in like round 1 and round 2.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
How'd y'all like that Tyro kill?
We noticed that they
Took you a while.
They were a little slippery getting away from you, but you finally pinned one down.
Yeah, you the first one you attacked, and then your Black Mage ran away, and then the second one, the Tyro himself ran away from you. It's like they knew you were coming. You're still a monster, though, Czar. I want you to know that.
Meanwhile, the rock golems have crack, and looks like one of the red mages is face down on the ground because of that.
So jkoper took a red mage.
He went double red mage.
Yeah, he took the file strats with a double red mage. And actually, the magic in this seed did pay off for him with Life 2, Nuke, and Temper all available. And Warp being early as well. Yeah, I'd say the difference maker here is jkoper did take a little bit longer to set up his grind. He got some more experience on his mages before he went to the black belt strats. Only for the Agama grind. So since it took him a little bit longer to set up, you did develop a little bit of a lead during the grind.
I thought about letting my mages level up a bit more. I was kind of worried about if we get another Hyena, and they had Fade and Nuke as well, so I wanted my mages maybe to hang around, but it just didn't work out that way. They went down early, and I said, okay, we're going to push Fighter and then the Black Belt.
Yeah, and I think you chose the right battles along the way to pick up some experience too. Like I remember the getting that you got a level off of just one Pure Shark Big Eye fight.
I had a few of those on the way down in Shrine. Shrine kind of slowed me down a bit, but I definitely wanted to get the mages a little bit higher level.
Yeah, the unrunnables in Shrine were definitely pretty bad for both of the two of you, actually. Even the early Thor's Hammer wasn't enough to make that not quite so crappy. So Zara, it looks like your opponents for the next stage of the tournament is going to be the winner of Drumbordus versus Purity the Kitty. So that should definitely be an interesting next round. How do you feel about that?
I know Purity has been putting in a lot of work, and Drum is a veteran of the randomizer in the game. I think it'll be a good match. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be another round 3 seed, I believe, so I don't think my strats will vary too much. Heavily dependent on what spells are currently available.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get Crown, Slab, Ribbon, and Floater all in Volcano again in another seed. And if you do, I'm calling shenanigans. I'm going to have to contact the tournament admin. I don't know if you know anybody.
I think I know a guy.
Do you? Okay. If you could give me his number, that would be great.
It definitely seems like if we see that again, I might be suspicious of some kind of conspiracy here.
jkoper electing to not move his black belt again. We'll see if this pays off or not.
Well, if he gets the Fog 2 off, he took a shot to the chest from Kraken and only did like 300 damage, so yeah, he should be alright this time around.
Double Fog 2.
Oh, you
Yeah,
guys
Kraken-
get me started on conspiracy.
Yeah, that's true. I immediately regret that decision. Is he going to use these nuke charges, or is he going to... Oh, Kraken with the lit too. Wow, Kraken being a lot kinder this time around than he was the first time jkoper song. And our calamari is just a little bit delayed. There we go. Yeah, his red mages are, I think, level 27 and level 24, which is plenty of levels to have pretty good survival in the Temple of Fiends. About all that you could get surprised by at that point would be a really high level unresisted, or rather a really high rolled unresisted nuke for upper 300s of damage. And continuing with the kindness of Temple of Fiends Revisited, how did you like those pretty low hit point waters, Czar? The only thing we were worried that might happen is that they might take apart your white mage or something like that, but you managed to take them down pretty quickly.
The hit points weren't too bad on the waters. I had Nuke and Fade ready. I was going to continue blasting it until they ran out to get through waterfall as quickly as possible.
Yeah, if there was ever a time to spend charges on those, the last 2 charges of those spells in Temple of Fiends, it's getting through waters on this floor. Because most of the bad fights in Unrunnables and the air floor are like worms and stuff like that are typically better dealt with physical attacks and spells. Alright, jkoper working on Tiamat here.
Well, this is black belt.
A little lower than yours. Yep, 44.
Wow,
Should be
still
fine.
not healing him.
Yeah, he stopped his level grind at 40. I think he would have went all the way to 42 if he had more heal potions. I think that was the reason why his grind took a little bit longer, is he needed to play it safer, and as a result had more party members alive. I think when you went into the grind, you had around 90 heal potions, and jkoper only had about 50.
Yeah, he spent quite a few Agama kills just attacking with his silver sworded out red mage fighter parties, just taking them out.
Okay, yeah, being short on heals can definitely affect that grind. I know I burned through about 70 of mine.
Yeah, I noticed you tried the red D for a little bit, but it seemed like he was hitting pretty hard.
The 1 rounds weren't coming. I wasn't so worried much about how much he was doing to me. It's that I wasn't 1-rounding him consistently, so I went back to Agama.
Yeah,
Yeah, the tiny bonus you get from the red D is sort of negated if it takes you twice as long to kill him. Alright, we got jkoper doing the last little bit to Chaos here, it looks like. Ooh, big hit. And the seed ends with a red mage nuking. That's what I like to see. Let's toss out our GGs to jkoper here.
And GG to jkoper, finishing with a SRL time of 143.41.
Alright, we'll see if jkoper is up for an interview here.
Up for that post-race race.
GG, jkoper.
Hey, thanks. Yeah. I mean, my wipe there was not a real thing. I was just screwing around because it was over.
Yeah, we figured you saw the dot done or just kind of cruising.
Right. I was just like, I really wanted the black belt to die, so I didn't have to heal him, and then I was even okay with him dying on Kraken, as long as I killed him, but then Kraken killed me, so whatever. He had a good combo of stuff to finish me off. Anyway, I don't know. I probably shouldn't have screwed around because this was an easy PB for me, and I almost PB'd even with that wipe in Temple of Fiends Revisited. I was like a minute and a half off. So
yeah, this seed had about everything you could have ever wanted in Volcano.
Yeah, that's true. Well, pretty much.
Well, yeah, not everything, but I would consider Slab Crown Floater at One Ribbon Volcano to be pretty decent.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, we were curious to see if anybody was going to make a play toward incentivize Ice Cave before Volcano, and I figured that if anyone might, it might be the double red mage with Nuke Party, but it turns out Volcano was definitely the correct call to make. Were you at all tempted by Ice Cave, jkoper, on your way over, or were you just going to Volcano?
No, I need something to kind of push me towards Ice Cave, and nothing happened to send me in that direction, really. I mean, the warp and exit spells were nice, but usually it's like my spell selection, or as far as for fighting enemies, or if I run into any encounters, like if I see that the wizards or the undead, well, wizards would be away from Ice Cave, but if I see that something in the volcano is particularly bad, then might avoid that right away. But
sure, that makes sense.
But otherwise, I think you always want to go towards the required spot first, as long as it's not or as long as it makes sense, I suppose. Like, you don't want to go to Earth right away.
No,
but,
yeah. Well, I mean, you have to. It's the same reason everyone goes to Volcano. Like, you have to do it anyway. There's lots of potential grind spots there. It's worth checking out.
Lots of chests.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
so
you both did pick up the second ribbon in Sea Shrine, actually, too.
Okay. Yeah, did he check the same chest that I did, basically?
Yeah, the two on the way, and then the three in the room with the Gershark with Sag.
That was all I checked there, and then I checked the ruby chest in Earth, and that was the only one, and the ones in the waterfall. So I don't know if you checked anything different from what I did.
No, you definitely had similar routing. I'd say that the real difference maker here was the when you set up your grind, jkoper, you kind of, since you had less heal potions to start it, you kind of had to keep your red mages alive and use those excellent silver swords you bought to kind of get the grind started.
I bought one silver sword.
Yeah, I mean, and those definitely make a difference when you've got a red mage. But I think Edge and I, was there anything else, Edge, you thought was a difference maker?
I didn't really keep them alive. I just didn't kill them off deliberately, I suppose.
Oh, sure.
Because if they would have died, it would have been okay, I guess. I healed them up before I started because I wanted a few levels on them. They were like level 10 or something when I started. Yeah. I think that seems reasonable.
That was one of the things that we were wondering, is if it was an intentional decision or not to leave more party members alive, just because you didn't have think you had about 50 heal potions, and we were wondering if you felt like that might have been a little low for a grind to 42.
Yeah, no, I had more than 50. I went up to 90.
No, I meant by the time you got to the Agama tiles, I think.
I must have had more than 50. I think I might have had 50 by the time I got down to like the solo black belt.
Could be. We might have remembered incorrectly.
Yeah, that might have been the first time that stood out or something.
Yeah, I'd say outside of that, it was a pretty straightforward seed with you ran the double red mage, Zar did go white mage, black mage, but with everything in Volcano and a ribbon there, it was, it just came down to routing the effectively on the overworld and just kind of executing the rest of the seed.
Yeah, there wasn't much appeal to a white mage or black mage in this seed that I could see. Like plenty of good spells available for the red mage.
You don't have to convince me of the superiority of the double red mage strats, jkoper. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
They worked out real well this seed though, with Life 2, Nuke, Warp,
Exit, and then minor AoE spells. And
yeah, enough to get
Temper
you going.
was there, and I don't know what else. I don't know. I guess the moral of the story is that like I could have grinded up more efficiently. Maybe I should have changed my party order sooner. I did want to get one life 2 on the black belt if I could, and I did, and I think that did help me get to the level that I got to in the end. I don't know what level he grinded to. Is it about the same or?
Yeah, he went to 42.
Okay, yeah, so
think...
that's pretty close. I was like 40, 41.
Yeah, I think you stopped at 40 and then got 41 in the river, so pretty close.
Right.
And for this scales or the seed's stat scaling, more than enough to take out carry.
Right. I don't know if part of the problem is if I don't get enough levels before somehow, but I just don't want to spend a lot of time killing things when you can run. So that, I don't know. You're supposed to grind in the efficient parts, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, outside of the wipe that happened just from kind of knowing that the seed was over, if you had gone to completion all the way through, it still would have been a relatively close race. So you guys definitely put on a real entertaining show.
Yeah, it would have been a PB, but it's not like we were both on Chaos or something. I was still on the fire or water floor when he finished, so I don't know. I guess it was close. It's just minor things, I guess, that make some people better. But well, too bad nothing was out to get Zar this seed, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say the only...
I did wipe in Volcano.
You did wipe in Volcano to what exactly? I don't remember it.
It's Hyena.
Blaze. Yeah, Blaze Hyenas.
Yeah.
Oh, Blaze Hyenas.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hyenas had Blaze and Fire Elementals had Blaze, and that was kind of a bad time.
I don't remember if I wiped anywhere. I must have, probably. I was doing some resetting, I know, but I don't remember seeing any bad enemies that were,
I think, other than the rock golems with crack, The guys in the volcano are the most notable offenders this seed.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah, where were all of the spells this seed? They must have been buried somewhere deep, that's for sure.
Yeah, we didn't see Nuke. I don't think we saw Death or Stone Touch either. So
I don't know.
definitely a seed for the PB, that's for sure.
Yeah, this Soria probably had like an 8 spell list or something.
I should have.
Sorry, yeah.
I
That
should
would have
have.
been your punishment for going to Ordeals.
Yeah. Man, if you went to Ordeals this seed, I don't know what you're doing.
The only hope would have been if the third ribbon would have somehow been there.
I guess. Man.
All right, guys. Well, GG, definitely well done on the race. As far as the rest of the tournament is concerned, we do have, I believe tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, we have Purity the Kitty versus Drum Bordist. The winner of that match will face Czar, so that'll definitely be good to check out. And then real late tomorrow evening at 12:30 midnight, it's myself versus Azrael Ravenheart. And I believe that match is on Speed Gaming. I don't think we've quite nailed down Purity the Kitty versus Drum Bordist. So if you liked what you saw here, definitely check out those matches. It looks like the link for the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord and brackets were just posted in chat. So if you thought this was cool and want to check it out, definitely check out those links. And definitely give a follow to our runners here. I know Czardia has been running Final Fantasy Legends 2 and 3 as of late. And jkoper runs just a whole plethora of randomizers of different games. And both these guys are definitely awesome to watch. So give them a follow and check them out. Also follow my co-commentator here, Edgeworth. He also runs randomizers as well and is a good dude.
And hey, Throw Files a follow as well. He's also pretty good at the randomizers himself.
I do my best. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good night, and we'll see you next mission.
GG, everyone. Team Stake. And post-race race. Let's talk about it.